Hello, everyone. Before we get into this week's film discussion, we'd like to begin by expressing our condolences to the families and individuals who are going through this extremely difficult time, not only with the ever-looming COVID-19, but also with the continued unjust murders happening in Black communities by police. With the recent slaying of George Floyd, we the people are disgusted and tired of this unfair and corrupt behavior. Our voices are louder than ever, and together we must speak up and protect those who need it most. The world is in pain, and the time for meaningful change is beyond past due. If you can protest, go out and protest. If you can donate to the organizations like NAACP or the numerous bail funds out there, please donate. Use this time to reflect and grow, help others, be kind to one another, and stand up for what is right. We are in this together. Three, two, one, and welcome back, everyone. It's us again. I'm
Yeah,
Victor.
I'm Nick.
Still Ryan.
So we have two films to talk about today. We have The Lighthouse and Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I don't know which one to talk about first. Which one are you
Portrait.
guys? Which one are you guys
Portrait.
leaning towards? Portrait.
Portrait. I guess we could do portrait.
Yeah, Nick, you want to go in the synopsis?
Yeah, I'll get the synopsis here.
I
Portrait.
can do that. I can do that.
Oh,
No,
Nick,
So you,
Ryan's
so
got
you
it.
got so you got French. What's her name? The girl from Twilight. You got her in French, and there's something about love and paintings.
Well,
It's a period piece.
I guess. I mean, I could still recap it.
that's
a
one way to
little
put it.
bit. Yeah. Now the actual plot is, it's set in the 18th century in France. A painter's tasked with trying to paint this other lady, but she has a history of not posing for painting. She's very stubborn like that. But they slowly learn to become friends with one another and maybe even something more beyond that.
Yeah.
No, Ryan's was better actually.
50-50.
Both
Yeah.
touched on accurate elements.
Pretty much.
So
I
what did you guys think about this one?
I was
It's
surprisingly into it.
Yeah, Ryan,
Hello.
you? Hello? Are you there?
slow.
Slow.
Oh,
It's not. Well, I was glued once I started it. Like I could not. That was why I was watching it so late.
Yeah,
I could not turn it off once I started it.
totally.
yeah,
It's got such a great
But
tone.
man,
it
yeah,
is.
the
Yeah.
tone is nice. But she's
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah.
I remember this was going around for a bit. Like all of our film friends were posting about this movie. I was like, oh my gosh, one of the
I
best of
bet.
the year. Just yeah.
I believe it. It's
So naturally, I stood away from it for a little bit. But no, now that I've watched it,
it's what would you say? It's got a little bit of indie syndrome where
yeah,
there is a lot of nothing.
yeah,
Can
a lot.
work like Tarkovsky. He has a ton of like metaphorical shots where it'll sit on nothing for like 3 minutes, but you know the symbolism if you're paying attention. Like, oh, he's in a dead yard, symbolizing like his psychosis or whatever. This just took its time and did things slow. I felt for not so much plot reasons as much as it looks a certain way.
Mm, I disagree with that. I think like I think a lot of that's very intentional, especially on a lot of those like POV shots or just when the camera would sit on a character. I mean, that's just like it's taking in consideration the main character as a painter and kind of those long glances, those just essentially studying environment, studying the character. And I think that
Saying that, but there's so much walking. Nothing's
yeah,
happening.
But I think we can agree as a whole, camera work is pretty. It's such a pretty looking movie.
Dude,
Yeah,
the cinematographer took into account that the theme was paintings.
yeah, I
Well,
was gonna
Color
say the
palette
color
is
scheme is very
gorgeous.
pronounced and noticeable in the best way. It's
Oh, yeah.
so good.
There was one shot that stuck out. The first one that really stuck out to me, other than like the opening shot, was the shot of one of the characters sitting, and there's a box behind her, and her head is outlined by the black of the box. Then they have another character standing off to the side, and the line of the box is parallel with her eye line. And once I saw that, I was like, I see exactly what they're doing, and they're recreating old paintings, traditional composition,
Mm.
just all sorts of stuff. There's diagonal focus, there's horizontal focus, there's eye line that's oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
good.
yeah. My takeaway is where I think towards the end when they started repeating parallels to the story later on. So, well, since we're jumping into it, we'll get into spoilers here just right now, I guess.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. So the whole spiel, the whole stick with the movie is that uh Heloise won't show her face, or she's making it very hard for Marianne to do her job as a painter. So she won't look at her directly. And then the whole course of the movie, they eventually hook up. There, and then by the end, when they have to separate, then kind of repeats itself. She has to turn. She turns away from him and just acts like she doesn't, or she doesn't act like she isn't there, but she's basically just not. I don't know what I'm losing myself
Are you
already.
trying to create a parallel with the story that they read towards the end of the film
Yeah,
with
so
Orpheus
because
and
when they first meet, they're walking along the bluff there, and Heloise is leading Marianne, and because
yeah.
Marianne has to look at her face so she can paint her face properly. But Heloise is making that hard to do. And at the end of the movie, they do the same thing when they have to separate because Heloise is going to go off to marry some guy in Milan, and Marianne's going to go her way.
Hmm.
There's just the one shot where she's tightening her corset, and it just reminded me of that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that
Hmm.
made sense.
Kind of. I think I'm following you.
Oh god. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a gorgeous movie. It's
What else
fantastic.
stood out to you guys? What were more pros? What else did you guys like?
The
I
acting.
really liked the way they used music in the movie and not like,
Yeah,
technical aspect. They used it only within the
The
story.
world. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
There's no non-diegetic music for a
That
lot
was
of the film.
really
It was
creative.
very
The
appreciated
That
was
was that
nice.
was that was interesting, yeah, because
because this does
it
seem like the kind of film. If it was in the hands of a wrong director, they would use any sort of emotional moment to just like tug your heartstrings, or like, all right, this is
Shove some music in there.
like
yeah,
the part
no,
where Marianne goes to Heloise and just like forgive me, like she's trying to get her back. That could have easily been a part where they could have thrown in some strings and made it super
Mhm.
emotional. But that was one thing I appreciated so much, is like this was a really slow film, but it was the chemistry that was being built upon, and just
yeah.
this like very subtle romance, and it was
Oh,
just
dude,
so
you
it
want
was
to
like
talk? Go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. It was just like I just appreciated how uh it was just like, I don't know how to explain it. Just
Tension between the characters
Yeah,
was
you wanna talk
perfect.
sexual tension, holy shit. It's like a sauna in here. Oh god. Wow.
yeah, it's
That was one of the most heated romances I think I've seen in a movie in quite a long time, and the acting between those 2 ladies was
oh
fantastic.
yeah, it was
Holy
really two great performances. I was
Mhm.
very
jeez.
impressed.
Yeah, just by like once the movie established like there's some romantic undertones going on here. I was like, okay, when's it happening? It's got to happen soon, or I will explode. I'm just gonna just ah. And yeah, it is charming to watch these two characters eventually hook up. It's quite nice actually, you know. And not just saying that because guy, like, oh yeah, lesbians, let's go. No,
Yeesh.
no, this is actually a genuinely sweet romance
And that's what I like
between.
too. It's just like it's not. It's just such a calm, and there's not many like uh, what's the word? There's just not much conflict, or I mean, there
Yeah.
is. It's like more.
It's understated.
personal and I mean, granted, the entire story is kind of one big conflict where when the Eloise doesn't want to leave and doesn't want to go marry some random guy in Milan.
Hell, she doesn't want to get painted.
Right. So, but still, it's like staring into a nice painting.
It
And
is.
coming back to the cinematography parts, like this feels very contemporary, kind of like the Lighthouse, where it's shot contemporary, but it utilizes a lot of you know picturesque compositions, like Ryan mentioned, and I really, really, really dig that. It's like this
Yeah.
movie is so sharp looking because I think it was shot with a 8K camera, so it's like that
Mm.
No kidding.
contrast between high definition and I don't know. It was just very, very cool. I liked that a lot.
Yeah. Also,
Appreciate the hues and the tone of the movie in
Dude, the
terms of color because the
colors,
color
my
palette
goodness.
was heavily inspired. I'm just guessing because what I've looked up, but
Mhm.
it's heavily inspired by old paintings. The
Oh,
use
sure.
of reds and very dark blues is super common with older paintings, and
Absolutely.
this nailed the old painting look from start to finish.
yeah.
Agreed.
Also, props to the location scouts and just the
Oh yeah,
production design overall. This,
production, dude.
yeah, it
Wardrobe.
wardrobe, the sets, the props, just yeah, it's the 18th century up in this. Bleh. And also the sound design, because the music is not there really, but like I like the sound of design in this movie for some reason, because like the crashing of the waves, the soft wind, even the little little brushes she makes on her canvas. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's a
This
very
movie would be wild to watch with headphones.
yeah, man. Jeez, ASMR for days.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, uh, so yeah,
There
this
was
is
some stuff I didn't like, there's an editing choice at the end. I was so bummed out. The end of the movie, the last shot. What first of all, what did you guys think of that last moment?
I loved it.
I I
Dude,
liked it, but I feel I had this thought. So I really loved the last shot. I got the intention of it. It was very emotional and whatnot. But part of me was also thinking like, okay, I feel like I'm watching her idle animations for a video game. She's just kind of sitting there making the same general movements with her face. It's
what
like
bugged me about that, what almost ruined that shot for me is they in editing, they tracked to her head and the motion matched her head movement and it
I
killed
did
it for
notice
me.
that. I did
Really?
notice that. I thought that was
That's all I could see.
I
Huh.
thought that might have been an intentional choice.
I mean, they do that
It
multiple
is.
times throughout the film. I noticed, like, very subtly. They'll kind
Yeah.
of track on the head, and yeah, I guess it is kind of a strange spot to do it.
It was
Um,
distracting to me because it's such a like just a still motionless movie where characters just stand, camera doesn't move, and it's just the scene that conveys it. So every
Mhm.
time they added a digital editing trick like that, it bummed me out. I was like, you guys could have just left it motionless and this would have looked incredible.
Yeah, they let
that's
the
fair.
acting do the talking most of the time. They didn't need
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Her performance during that was
Oh
whoa.
wow.
Yeah, because I didn't have a
Whoa.
problem at all. I mean, I slightly noticed it, but I was just too focused on her eyes and her
Yeah.
face to like really have that bug me. But yeah, I get that. I
Yeah.
get that.
Story.
That pulled me out,
Huh.
Mhm.
unfortunately, because her performance was great, but I started noticing, like, I'm like, that beam right next to her forehead is shifting just enough to catch my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan, you brought up a good point. Like, the camera stays still enough. The camera just stays still and lets things happen in them. I feel
Yeah.
like that's like an indie movie cliche I've noticed. What do you guys think about that in general? Should indie
Yep.
movies,
It's becoming,
What's the problem?
almost format.
yeah, like indie movies, their cinematography I feel is kind of lazy in some way, because they just let the camera sit and they're hoping you'll find some meaning out of it, or they just can't
I
plan
don't
out a
think it's
proper movie.
lack of meaning, it's at a point where, like I was saying, like, Tarkovsky had reasons for doing, like, certain camera tricks. Indie movies now are doing that, but not I don't think so much for the content as much as the style.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
there's nothing wrong with keeping your camera still. There could be intent behind it, but
Yeah.
you start to see patterns after a while, and
Yeah,
like
this is definitely, like, foreign indie. Like, that is the look.
yeah, yeah.
Do you
But the
really see that as like a con though? Like, does it really distract you
no,
from?
it's not a con here. I just it's just something I no. I'm gonna choke here.
It's it's starting to feel like other like, when I see this style of camera, it's getting to a point where I'm starting to think other movies during it because I'm seeing it so much at this point.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Hmm.
I noticed it done in other times, and I just have to remember there's intent behind it, sort of thing. Not just because it's a cheap movie and they can't do a lot of fancy movements.
No, they absolutely had purpose and there was reason,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the indie go-to camera trick now. It's like, all right, motionless, the characters stand still, 20 seconds, it's good.
Yeah. There were like
Hmm.
some of those moments I actually kind of liked. So I think
Oh
there was
yeah.
one part. There was one part I think I can't remember it was after they kissed for the first time or not, or it was after a very intimate moment between them. They're in the kitchen or the dining hall or whatever, or just dining room. Um, there's just one wide shot. The maid is sewing.
Oh yeah,
Marianne's having a seat at the bench. Heloise is fixing the soup up in the cauldron behind her. Just I don't know. That was some nice staging,
that
just
was
some
a
nice
shot that
blocking.
really stood out to me too.
Yeah,
Like just in the subtle colors and the vegetables and the fruit that she had out laying on the table. It was just
Mhm.
yeah,
all together. It's just like, man, this is just picturesque. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
It felt just right. It was so good. Yeah, this is weird. I don't go crazy a lot for these for these indie movies like this. But I think about it, it's like hitting me deep,
Yeah,
strangely.
I was kind of feeling the same because I mean, sometimes when a movie is just slight for the sake of being that, I get kind of like, and it's quite a few French films I've seen. I'm just like, I like the content and the thematic material, but it's just so subtle and so very reliant on dialogue that sometimes it can get kind of like a little boring for me
Mhm.
because I kind of like to have more than just words to really like draw me in. Um,
Yeah.
but I really wasn't having an issue with that here because while it is really reliant on the dialogue and uh,
Yeah.
I don't know, it was just like it's not necessarily my style, but man, I was really happy with it, and it does kind of like drag towards the end. I can notice
Yeah.
myself kind of like losing a little bit of attention, but I don't know. It was just the right pace for me.
Uh-huh. Also the dialogue is really good in this movie, by the
Yeah,
way. Yeah.
absolutely.
Some choice words between these two ladies. It's great.
Writing is definitely good. It's I'm very curious what the script actually looks like. I
Mhm.
just really wanna know because there's such a minimal amount of dialogue. I just wanna see what the script looks like and how big it is.
Mhm. Yeah, get it translated, then we'll find out. We'll find out.
I just wanna know, like,
Yeah.
how much of it like, there were so many scenes of, like, character walks, like,
Yeah.
character walks through hallway. That's, like, 4 words, and there's so much of that, and the movie's over 2 it's over under 2
It's
hours. It's
exactly
near
2
the 2-hour
hours.
mark either way,
Yeah.
and I'm just very curious what the script looked like. I'm so curious.
Yeah. A lot of blank spaces.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the script online, and I can't
I
find
doubt
it.
you will. I doubt you could find this script online. Such a recent movie and a foreign movie, no less.
No, that's pretty common actually for
It is? Okay.
recent films to have their scripts drop like months.
Okay, yeah. But I don't
And
know.
since it's such a popular film, I just thought maybe
I figure a
would be out.
foreign film would factor in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you see sites like No Film School, they'll get access to the Oscar-winning scripts
Right,
somehow, some
right.
way, and they'll put links to them in a story post.
I
But
bet
yeah,
it's very like very literary though. Very
Very novelesque more than
yeah.
script.
very
Yeah.
eloquent.
Yeah, I would assume that's why I'm curious because like I was saying, it's like 4 words to say like almost half of the movie's scenes. Like character walks down hall. Like that's like a good portion of the movie, honestly. And it's gotta be written in a way where describes the mood of the walk and the tone and everything. Yeah, I'm very curious. That's all I can say.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Also while we got this movie here, the love scenes. I like the restraint in these love scenes.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah. I know it would have been so easy just go the exploitive route. But no,
Oh, it's
actually.
almost the old school comical where it's like, "Oh, they're looking at each other pretty intent. They're done." It was
Yeah.
honestly, like, not in a bad way, but it was
Yeah.
funny the way they edited that. It
Yeah, it's
was
like cut naked in
restraint.
bed.
Yeah, wow. Don't see
Yeah.
that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Um
wouldn't have made sense if they showed anymore. That wouldn't have felt
It's too
right.
elegant of a movie to show that sort of thing.
And
yeah.
it wouldn't make sense for the characters either. It
Uh-huh.
just like
No,
thematically would just be like, well, what? Like this is kind of like a
exactly.
hidden. I don't know. It just adds to the whole
It's
hidden
not The
romance.
Handmaiden.
Yeah, exactly. It's oh my god.
I don't get it.
This one, yeah, this one, you could, like maybe grandma would like sections of it. Handmaiden,
Yeah.
grandma has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that's funny.
pretty accurate.
Yeah. Actually, since we're talking here, what do we think of love scenes in general in movies? Are they necessary? Are they unnecessary? While we're here, what are your thoughts?
Can understand thematically, like, wanting to show it. I never see it's necessary. It's just me, though, like, I've seen movies where I'm like, "Yeah, that scene worked," but usually I'm just like, "This is just weird because the story's halted now."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
it's
I've only seen one good love scene in my I've only seen one good love scene in my life that actually added to the storyline. Other than that,
You know what? Yeah, I know Melancholia. That is a movie where a love scene was it made sense, I got it, and in Antichrist, he utilizes sex scenes so well in both of those that
mhm.
it has so much impact, but other than that, I can't think of a movie where I'm like, "Yeah, that was a necessary scene that should be in there."
I
I was gonna say the Terminator. That the
Terminator.
kind of the whole backstory hinges on that love scene.
I would
So
It's true.
say it just definitely context, 'cause, I mean, I'm thinking to
Mhm.
there's this film called Don't Look Now from the late '70s, and has a very infamous well, not infamous, but a very well-known sex scene, and it's, like, really helps it's very realistic too, and it really kind of
mm,
shows the current relationship and, like, how it just feels very raw, but I would have
mhm.
to also give
Yes.
it to Barry Jenkins as well for Moonlight and Beale Street. Like,
Hmm.
those romance
Oh,
scenes are
Beale
like
Street.
oh, you
Yes.
that one that I think it's the first time, it's, like,
Yes.
beautiful. It's such a great
I
scene.
forgot about that.
Mhm.
But and then with Moonlight too, it's like it's such like a holy crap moment. Like, it's just you feel for the
You mean
character and
the scene on the beach?
yes.
Okay, yeah, that's good too.
So, yeah,
Uh,
Barry Jenkins, he does that
yeah.
very well, but other than that, like, I can't think of many movies where I'm like, "That was very important." I guess
Yeah.
just depends on the movie. That's really
Sure.
it.
I
Yeah.
remember The Spectacular Now had a love scene that
Mhm.
yeah, that love scene, totally understanding,
I
like, to
remember that.
represent, yeah, the teenage point of view of a love scene.
That
That's
one was
kind of
that one was, very natural and
yeah,
yeah, that was yeah.
yeah, like Like I never done it, but I believe that's what it would look like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Portrait. What else do we get? So yeah, great characters, great acting, very steamy hot romance. Oh god. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
I actively had to I had to do one of these by the end of the movie. I just had to go just
This is a cartoon.
no.
Yeah. What the hell, Nick?
It's the wolf with oh forget it.
Nick's horny.
Exactly, it's
guys-
the wolf whistle. The wolf
No,
whistle.
come on.
Exactly. Eyes bulging out of
You
his
guys
head.
never seen a
Oh.
bogey call, have you?
I'm
Jeez.
gonna
That's not what I
I'm
meant.
gonna pull up the copy pasta. Humana.
That's like creepy pasta.
No, the copy pasta.
What's a copy pasta?
Oh, Nick, have you ever been on the internet?
Apparently not.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't
what
know
do
if
you guys got? What do you guys got?
I don't know. I don't have.
What do I got?
This
Yeah,
seems
what-
like a relatively straightforward movie.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those films where it would help to have a little bit more knowledge on history, especially in the time period.
Possibly.
I mean, and especially the story they read towards the end. I know literally nothing about what was it, Orpheus and Hades and anything like that. So I feel like a little bit of. I mean, granted, they read it out to you, so it's not like
Yeah.
super confusing, but I feel like period pieces in general, it's nice to have like a little bit more information, like
Yeah.
just prior to watching the film.
Perhaps. Yeah.
I definitely think this is I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
think
straightforward plot wise, but I feel like there's so much like subtleties.
Yeah.
Um,
It's basic, but it's smart.
it is, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I only say that because I see either my friends or the people who write freaking 17 paragraph essays about the intricacies of this movie when really it's just a simple romance, really. I mean, granted, it's unconventional in considering the time period and who's involved, but yeah, otherwise it's girl meets girl, girl slowly falls for girl, and girl hooks up with girl. You know?
I mean, that's a kind of a reductive
It's
way of
realistic
looking at
too.
it, but
Yeah.
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 It's realistic though, because then she goes and gets married to a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Times.
I think my
I-
favorite scene. Do you guys have like a favorite scene?
I think my
Uh,
favorite was
I loved when the girl saw the painting and saw
Yes.
the 28th page.
Yes.
Dude, oh my god.
Yes.
Oh,
That
That
was
was
it.
very good.
Oh god, so much in there. Yeah, that and then when she's drawing in the 28th page, I don't
yes.
know. Call me a freaking heathen, but I actually saw the story in that for once.
I also love that line. I think it's like the tagline for the film, but when they're laying it's when they're laying in bed together and they're both
Remember
talking
not
about
regret?
yes.
I love that too. I
Oh.
really love that line. That
When they're
is
both talking about
so poignant.
moments they remember. I was like, dude, yes. Like
That's gonna be a
That's
life
good.
motto for me now. Just remember, don't regret. That's so amazing.
ugh.
Mhm.
But
That
I
shit's
just
awesome.
love that last shot, like taking away the
motion track.
tracking, but like how
Last shot was good.
Marianne doesn't realize that, like she thinks like, oh, she didn't see me, she didn't know I was there, but like the fact that they play the song that she had played for her in the beginning of
Yeah.
the film, like
She's feeling it.
you could like it reminds me of just like La La Land towards the end where he's playing the
yeah.
song and
Yeah.
you can tell whatever her name is.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone, yes. I just love that remembering and just like connecting just music or art and to experiences and emotions and drawing those parallels. that scene hit me so hard. I loved that so
Oh,
much.
it's
Such
a
a
I
great
great
also
moment.
like the nighttime beach when her dress catches on fire and she just looks at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I half liked that scene. I don't
Why do
know
you have
why.
like
I
that?
didn't I was
Well,
uncomfortable with the music. That was
yeah, the acapella group was
odd to me.
kind of out of
Yeah.
nowhere. I don't know
Yeah, it was
where
definitely out
that
of
came
nowhere.
from. And also, I strangely thought the isle they were staying at, I thought it was unpopulated except for them. Turns out there's other people living around them, and they gather for feasts. So yeah,
What was
guess
that?
that
Was that I don't know what that community would have been. I don't know what, because she says she goes to mass at some point, but that I don't think that's what that was.
yeah. It kind of reminded me of the freaking Midsummer section in Seconds, only a little less pointless. I just got those vibes going on.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not too sure what was actually going on there,
yeah,
but
but the dress catching on fire that was great.
yeah, for some reason it kind of reminds me of a scene in the Lighthouse because it has this kind
We're
of
getting ahead of
disconnected.
ourselves here.
Well, no, it's just there's something about that's kind of disjointed editing in that moment.
Yeah.
Uh, Towards the end of the Lighthouse, there's a scene that kind of reminds me of that, but
Mhm.
anywho, not really important. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if I have too much else to say.
I feel contempt with what I've said. I surprisingly dug the heck out of this one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really liked it. I don't know if I'll watch it again.
Yeah, me neither.
yeah.
That's a shame. I
I'm
wish.
very glad I watched it, but I
Yeah,
think for me this is a one and done.
that is a shame. I wish movies like this had better rewatch value.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else it could have to bring in more rewatch value, but
Well, I don't know. You
Cut back on the walking for me. It's just I know if I watch it again, I know there's like at least 30 minutes of walking and sitting without tension between characters. It's just the character sitting there thinking.
mhm.
that might do it for me too. And also that bonfire a cappella section.
It scared you too much.
No.
It's scary.
I love how the
Fine.
film starts to actually, where it takes place in the future and then kind of goes
Yeah.
back into the past. I just
That is interesting.
I
You see
loved.
how she got the idea for the portrait later?
Yeah, it was just like I don't know. It
But
was very it was
I
a very good
f-
introduction, in my
yeah.
opinion.
And there's occasionally narration throughout the movie. I feel like that was a bit of a half-baked idea because when you have I guess it's just the expectation. When I start to hear narration in a movie, I expect it to kind of be on the regular throughout the
Yeah.
picture. This one, there may have been like 3 lines of narration total, voiceover dialogue, and I thought they didn't commit to the narration fully. It
Do you
seemed
think?
like
Mhm.
they were gonna do it, but it was only at the most keen moments, which should be a plus. But again, my expectations.
I mean, do you think it would have really added anything
Probably
essential,
not,
or
no. I probably wouldn't have cared. Actually, I never really cared when I was watching it, but I'm thinking about it now, just like, "Hmm, okay. I don't know." It's
yeah,
interesting thought. It's an interesting thought I'm chewing on right now.
very interesting.
Yeah.
What about those ratings?
Yeah, let's
Alright.
hop into the ratings.
I like to point out ratings, by the way. If you go on Letterboxd and look this movie up, the star rating is replaced with fire.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Nice.
So, we're gonna go with fire. We're gonna rate this how many fires out of 5.
All right, Nick, you want to go?
Fine, I'll go. Uh, 4.5 fires.
4.5 fires.
Yes.
You want to elaborate, or
Yes, yeah, 4.5 fires. Some very compelling acting with 2 very rich and in-depth characters in a very convincing time period. Occasionally, the plot slows, but the undertones, the drama that lies in these characters is very powerful, very poignant, very emotional, very sensitive. It's just a very it's a very good-looking movie. It's a very meaningful storyline. It's got a lot going on right there.
cool? Ryan.
I'm gonna go 3.5. I liked it
Okay.
a lot, but it's just there's no way I could sit through this again, not start fidgeting. Like I definitely got bored a few times.
Yeah.
It's the tension is extremely well realized through the characters, and it's beautifully photographed. But yeah, straightforward story. I was hoping for a bit more depth, other than like subtle character thoughts that you can read on their face. Other than
Mhm.
that, it's extremely well made.
Groovy.
And
I'm
you?
going to hit it with a 4.
4.
Um, yeah, I really dug it. I think it has a lot of great uh, subtleties that I think could be picked up on more on a second viewing. And this isn't one I would want to like rush and watch again. I would at least wait a couple years or so.
Mhm.
But I think
Mhm.
there's enough there for most, art film people to grasp onto. And it's while it's really slow, I think so much of this is uh, very intentional, obviously, and I just think it's while simple, uh, I think there's just a I don't know decent amount of uh, romance and emotion that feels very grounded and
Oh,
believe.
it's so grounded. It's so well
Mm,
written.
Yeah,
it
so I
is.
think
Oof.
that alone, just like I don't know, it's very literary and very calm and picturesque, and I liked watching movies like that every once in a while. It's
Yeah.
it's nice. It's very
Yeah.
nice.
Pretty cozy movie once you get stuck with it. It's and yeah,
Plus, I just love endings kind of like that, where it's
I
sort of
like endings.
ambiguous and left to like the viewer to kind of, I don't know,
Yeah. Ambiguity.
interpret, but also it's sort of obvious. And
Yeah.
I don't know, just a
Ambigu
good emotional ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know how ambiguous I'd say it is, but it's definitely a solid emotional conclusion.
Yes.
That's a good point. Yeah, not very ambiguous, but you kind of hit it right on
Right
the
on the
nail.
head. Yeah,
Cool.
Ryan's the hammer and you're the nail.
Shoot.
Bonk.
Take
All right.
that.
Groovy. So, should we move
Excelente.
on to the next film?
Très bien.
Yes.
Cool.
Très bien.
So, Ryan, this is the one that you brought out. I brought out Portrait, and Ryan,
Yes.
you recommended The Lighthouse. So,
I
Yes.
did.
The Lighthouse.
dig in.
Mm.
Let's dig in. The Lighthouse focuses on two lighthouse keepers who are now stationed at a lighthouse off the coast of Nova Scotia. They are tasked with maintaining the upkeep, just kind of looking out for it, make sure it's running tip top. But when a storm blows in unexpectedly, they find themselves stranded and also losing their minds, slowly but surely, until the mental breaking point is hit.
What? What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What? What? What? What?
So, first question, do you guys agree with the genre? It says it's a horror drama.
Yeah, psychological horror thriller.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just kind of like the broad dr- genre
I don't know.
tag.
I don't know. It's kind of scary. It's a
I mean,
Cuz
little scary.
the cuz that is what the movie is classified under, as in terms of like this is what the movie is when you watch it. The director and actors claim this is like a comedy.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I don't
Yeah.
really keep it
That's
locked into
interesting.
two genres. I think there's quite a few different genres for sure, or just elements taken from different genres throughout
Still,
the entire thing. It's
it gives you the nervous creeps every which way.
oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So
So
this one was interesting for me. So we Ryan and I saw this in theaters. I don't
yeah,
think Victor went with
no,
us. No.
But
And
but you did see it in theaters.
yes,
so yeah. Me personally, I liked it, but I was kind of unsure about my feelings heading out
didn't
the door.
didn't you give it a 4.5 stars?
I did, but that was just more out of the respect for the craft and how really well made it was.
Oh, okay,
so now that I'm watching it again, I have a more sound perspective on the movie, and I could definitely say I liked it a lot more this time. In fact, I was actually the whole reason I got jazzed before recording is like finally I can get on the same page with these guys. I can share the excitement that I should have been projecting when I first saw it.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad you like it now a lot more.
Yeah.
Yes, very great. First off, the look of the movie. I love it.
Dude,
I want to sleep with it. I love it so much. Uh yeah, Academy ratio, black and white, celluloid. It looks like a 1920s horror movie. I really love it.
they even filmed this movie with a cold tone filter or whatever on the lens, so the skin tones were gray rather than white.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This looks more like freaking Lumiere brothers than James Whale. It's that good. You know what I'm
See,
talking
that's what I
about,
was
right?
James Whale? Not I don't think I've heard of him.
Okay. Well, Lumiere brothers. They made the
I
first
know
movie
them.
ever.
I don't
Okay.
know.
James Whale did Frankenstein and The Mummy and so forth. He did all
God.
the Universal movies.
See, that's what I was talking about when I was talking about contemporary look, where there's a lot of modern angles and
Mm-hmm.
camera movements, but like the look and the aesthetic is just so from another time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just when I put in the movie and I just was looking at the main menu, I was like, oh
Yes.
my god, yeah, I'm so ready.
It is a really nice mix of the old and the new. One of the
Mhm.
more
Yeah.
successful executions of that sensibility
Yeah.
I've recently. Because there's a lot of movies that go for the throwback feel with their modern filmmaking sensibilities, and most times they do all right, but other times it doesn't quite gel so much. This one
They
though,
usually don't go this far back, which is
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
This is probably my this is up there, but this might be top 2 favorite cinematography movies ever for me.
Mm,
I
mm-hmm.
can totally understand why.
I second
Totally,
Yeah.
that.
totally, totally.
I would second
If
that.
you have a number one on your mind, do you have a number one on your mind?
Dude,
Or
okay.
what the other
There's
choice would be?
Roger Deakins.
um
Something Roger Deakins.
no, actually.
Huh. Okay.
um that's the film student go-to.
Oh yeah,
Mine
right.
is I love the French New Wave style that Lars von Trier always uses, so
Mm-hmm.
Melancholia might be up there as
Okay.
one of the
Mm-hmm.
favorites, but Neon Demon is always stuck on my
Mm.
mind. But when I think about it, this might be my number 1. This is
Oh,
so beautiful.
you heard it here first, folks.
It's
So yeah,
so beautiful.
the look.
Contrast. Ugh!
Too right.
Yeah, I know the
Uh,
whites and the blacks are so on both ends of the spectrum,
Yes.
and it's like
totally.
humana humana.
Auga.
Yep.
I
Big
just
Auga moment.
Totally.
I this is the kind of film stock I would love to shoot on someday.
Oh man.
I shot
Absolutely.
Oh
on some
man.
35 millimeter film that like it makes me think of this film, and
Yeah.
oh man, I think we could talk an hour about the look of this film because it's
Yeah.
just so damn impressive. I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so
Not.
happy there are artists out there that
Yes, exactly.
can do this, and you're like, dude, like Nux, like come on.
Yeah, this is the same feeling I got after watching which is the new Blade Runner 2048?
2049.
Fine.
2049.
2049. It's the same feeling I got with that. When I watched that, I was like, I feel like I do not have to make a cyberpunk-esque sci-fi movie because this is what I would have wanted to do.
It's
And
kind of
Yeah.
same with this. I'm like, I don't need to do a sailor-esque folklore movie because this is what I would have wanted it to be, and this is as good as I would hope as it to be.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I can see
Oh
that
yeah. Every
100%.
which way you look at this movie, it looks great. The camera work, the editing, the freaking color palette,
Oh,
the
the editing or lack
or
thereof.
lack thereof.
Dude, some of these Willem Dafoe monologues
Oh
where it
god.
just holds on him for 2 minutes as he just spews lines.
that's the next thing I want to bring up. The acting. The acting.
Unreal.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated Pattinson a lot more this time around. Like, I knew he
Oh,
was great,
absolutely.
but,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, something about his performance this time around, I was like, "Oh, yeah." I
Definitely.
think he might like, as much as I love Defoe, something about Pattinson here, I was just like, "You know what?
It's
I
always
really
the
like what
quiet
he's going
ones.
for."
It's always
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
quiet ones.
I'll
No.
tell you, I connected more with Pattinson we'll make it as complex as possible. I connected more with Thomas, but I preferred Thomas's performance more than Thomas.
Oh,
So,
Alright.
remind me to get to the story later because there's some stuff I want to unpack there. But yeah, Pattinson does a fantastic job. This is definitely one of his premier roles as of late. Like
unreal.
if you wanted to show someone if he's broken the Twilight sting or whatever, like just point him this way. Just point him right here. This guy.
Still probably won't watch it, though.
Probably not, but
I
still.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him watch an indie movie. Is that how it goes?
Yeah,
I think that's
sure.
how it goes.
And yeah, this is also Robert Eggers, the witch, we know.
Dude,
So yeah, he's known for his very period accurate dialogue.
yes.
And that's where the acting I think is extra impressive. The fact these actors are able to cleanly deliver these lines without
The
stumbling over the
quote
terminology.
quote unquote cleanly deliver these like 1600 Welsh lines.
Yeah.
Still though, I mean, it's more I can understand it more than the witch, but still,
Absolutely.
even with the learning curve, there's some great dialogue going on here.
Oh yeah.
So good. And yeah, those freaking
Excellent.
monologues Defoe gives for the
Oh,
books. Jeez.
yeah.
I felt cursed when he was saying that stuff.
I will never forget the scene when he is being buried alive and dirt is going in his eyes, in his mouth, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
Dude,
just keeps going with the same gusto he started it with.
guy, he looks so I don't know, because the film quality is
Dedication
so
right there.
rich, the dirt on his face, I could see every clump of it on
Yep.
top of his head. That was wicked. Ugh.
So since
And
this is everyone's second time seeing it, was there anything else that, like, stuck out to you that you didn't notice before, or
I didn't
I
notice
or
a
it seemed
very
too much
major
more?
component to Winslow's character.
What's
So
that?
spoiler again. Uh I totally missed the part where he said he accidentally got a guy killed when he was doing logging in Canada,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's why he fled to the lighthouse. I completely missed that when I
Really?
first saw it.
oh,
I
bummer.
know. I know.
It's
That
like a
must be
yeah,
why I wasn't
major
getting it. It's like,
component.
oh, okay. Yeah, all right, it's fine. This time I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm screaming
Yeah,
too
that's kind
loud.
of a key point.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I strangely missed it. But yeah,
Something I
that makes
could
a lot
not
more
stop
sense.
focusing on this time was after seeing so many interviews with Robert Eggers, it's you hear very frequently how much he loves The Shining and Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
And now seeing a man go crazy with an axe, it's like, all right,
Very
this
obvious.
is
Of
your
course.
this is your little Easter egg for the fans. That's cool.
For
He's
That
sure.
was
like,
one of
I
my
love it. It's going in.
that was one of my favorite shots of the movie. Just the profile of him running
Oh man.
with his peg leg and heavy rain in the
The
raincoat.
way the wardrobe mixed with his movements and the characters' personalities is perfect.
Yeah,
No
Yeah,
complaints.
absolutely.
really good. Yeah, and also, oh, what else did I notice? No, I think that was it. Just the revelation about Winslow's character.
Mhm.
Just yeah. Um,
What did you guys think of the story?
I dug it. I kind of dug it.
Yeah,
I mean,
nothing really
Mhm.
changed for me from the first time.
the major
Yeah.
appeal with it is just seeing these guys work on the lighthouse. I like seeing all the manual labor that goes into managing this place.
So you
It's
did like that.
yeah,
I was curious what you guys thought because it's very you could say monotonous, just day-to-day work.
yeah,
No like actual plot progression other than them just working on stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that
But
doesn't
at the
bother
same
me.
yeah, at the
Yeah,
same
me neither.
I mean, Eggers is so good at doing his research. This almost feels like a mini history lesson I'm watching. The
Yeah.
intricacies of managing a lighthouse. You're shoveling coal, you're fishing for lobster to keep from going starving, putting oil in the engine. Uh, yeah, you're even painting the lighthouse itself.
You never been in, what does he say, like steadier hands or something?
Oh yeah, that was
Proceeds to
drop them. Oh yeah, I saw a disappointing video lately. Someone claims to re-edit the lighthouse as if it were a SpongeBob episode,
Oh
and
yeah.
all they did was they put the music over the footage, and I was oddly disappointed by a YouTube video.
I mean, how else would you do it?
Put lines of dialogue in there,
Oh,
maybe.
you don't do it at all. This is blasphemy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But if I were to
I think
do
it
it again,
works because like
nah,
this film's
I,
already weirdly comedic, and I don't know.
It's so funny.
it is really funny. But I'm also kind of conflicted there. I feel the humor just barely outshines the horror aspect. Like
What do you
I mean, Eggers says it's a comedy, so that was his goal.
What do you mean barely
fine, but
outshines?
it's also a horror movie, so I should be more scared than laughed than laughed.
That's
That's that's
that's
the wrong.
completely personal field. I don't know
Sure.
what do you mean by it outshines the horror.
Well, it's supposed to be a scary movie. These two
It's
guys,
not though.
these guys
Well,
are losing their minds. They're seeing horrific imagery. They're even trying to kill each other at one point, and they're seeing mermaids and octopuses, and I don't know that's scary, and it's dark. The music is really brooding. The imagery is graphic at times.
can a movie not be two things?
It could be two things, but a balance would be pretty
I
good.
think it
This is
balances incredibly
not a
well.
major doc on the movie. I'm not criticizing it for being something it shouldn't. Personally, I feel the humor was really funny, so funny that it outclassed the other identifying marks of what genre it should be in.
I don't
Or
know. Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
find the
not.
movie to be like hilarious.
yeah.
I I think the funniest moment for me is just the you found me lobster. Just that whole scene
Well, yeah, that
is like
You like me lobster?
and just like uh, Pattinson talking about the steak, and if it was there, he would screw it, and like just
yep.
Defoe's face after that, he's just like, okay,
Yeah.
all right. It's just like I didn't see there was no issue for me at all with
Yeah.
balancing the horror and the comedy because the comedy isn't like, hey, look, this is the funny scene, and it kind of is, but unless you're like, haha, farts, if that's
Yeah,
your thing, then
there's
like
scripted
it'll be very
farts in this
obvious.
Well, that
movie.
was good for me, dude. I
Yeah,
got some yucks out of those.
Freaking
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think that the
I treat it like a real fart. I'll laugh, but I'll kind of shake my head. Shame on you.
yeah, I don't know. No, that wasn't an issue for me.
I
Ryan,
did
I
like
take it was an issue for you.
I did like the one line though, and your goddamn farts.
Yeah,
Just when he finally has it with Wake, just going off on him.
yeah,
Shakes the whatever furnace or whatever when he does it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
don't know if it's
it is funny though.
misdoing what it's trying to do. Because, like I said, it's classified as a horror drama, but Eggers said this is a comedy, a dark comedy.
That last scene, I beg to differ. That's just straight dark.
What do you mean, beg to differ?
Well, kind of
You're allowed to
scary.
have, like, if you have a comedy, you can still have serious moments in the comedy.
True, but suddenly introducing that much drama or that heavy of content, that kind of kills the mood a
Well,
little bit.
technically, that kills Zombieland because it's about murder and killing and
No, 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 no.
post-apocalypse
That's
survival.
it's like if you had let's see here. This is like if oh, I don't know. This is like if you did like Martin Scorsese gangster killing in something like Naked Gun. Just
What's
seems
wrong
out
with
of
that?
nowhere.
Mm,
Still don't
I
get
don't
it.
know.
Just some guy getting brutally shot in the face or just blood
Deadpool?
guts everywhere. No, that's different. That's played for laughs. That's
I mean,
intentionally played for
there was
laughs.
humor in The Irishman. Was that a problem?
No, the humor suit they set itself up, I guess.
I don't know. I think this film's too weird to. I don't know. I feel like the more bizarre, the better. Like I don't know. I don't get
Well, this
that.
is yeah. I'm not. I mean, I must sound like I'm taking issue with it, but I'm not actually because, like you said, it's a bizarre movie. It's doing whatever it wants, but
Yeah,
and
and
it
going back to the genre, whatever it is on a website, I don't know. I don't see what the
what the
I don't know
doobie
what you're
doo
going for
is.
there. I think the movie's just whatever it is. I don't think yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess
Being
so. Yeah.
locking to a genre is restrictive and restrains the writing.
Well, I mean, plus you're talking about what the website has it as. I mean, the website can't be like dark comedy, abstract humor. It's just it just I don't know. I don't yeah, I don't know. It's just a mixture of so many different elements. I don't yeah, it's not just two genres.
Sure. Yeah. But
I mean, if
otherwise,
you want to be right down to it, it's literally just a fantasy drama.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
they see visions of sea creatures and sirens, and they go and there's a lot of symbolism going on.
So technically not even a drama, it's just a fantasy movie.
It could be in everything. It's everything but an action movie.
I don't know, dude. There's a scene with a chase. That's kind of action movie.
Okay, you know what?
Exactly.
So yeah, there's some argument to be had there for sure. Or there's some not argument, the opposite of argument. Discussion.
It's actually elevated horror. Um,
Upscaled horror.
yeah,
Yeah,
Um
I'm glad personally that it had so many dimensions and it wasn't just like I love The Witch, but I like this more because it's not just one note. Like this is a sad horror movie, so that's all it gets to be. I'm happy that this has dimensions and it's dude bumps his head going up to the lighthouse, then gets Thomas's butt stuck in his face and gets farted on, and then later
what? Wait,
guy
what?
gets his head smashed with an axe.
Wait, when does he get farted on?
When he goes upstairs, he bumps his head on the door frame. He sits on his mattress. You see old bend over and you see his butt go right in Young's face and he just farts 2 inches from his face.
Oh yeah. All right. Uh jeez. Yeah.
How about that music though? Perfect or
Perfect or
nearly
perfect?
perfect?
Perfect. I'd
yeah,
say
I have
perfect.
no problem with it. It's pretty damn phenomenal.
Pretty intense. Just the brooding, just the brooding low horn in the opening when they're just getting to the
Mm,
lighthouse sets it
Um,
up perfect.
it's exactly what I would want for a uh, grimy and dirty
yeah.
swashbuckling type of film. Like,
Swashbuckling, huh?
I guess that's not the right word, but
Yeah.
just
It's maritime. Let's call it
maritime.
maritime.
Yes, maritime. I just it's again like the cinematography. You're just like, dude,
Yeah,
how
it's only
how did you do
natural.
that?
Use a full score. Yeah, a
Well, I'm
full
just saying
score.
that the tone of it and just like the compositions are just so. Oh my god, I don't know. It's just one of those
Yeah.
scores where like, dude,
It's
I'm so happy that you exist because it's
Yeah.
perfect.
it
Yeah,
belongs.
I get anxious thinking about if it didn't have the soundtracks. I'm like, they fit so well together. The idea of one of these being missing is borderline traumatizing for me.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, full orchestra and special effects. Not pretty damn good.
I don't even know if it's a full orchestra. It doesn't even sound like.
Well, if
Yeah,
we're
it's fun, dude.
no keeping the theme of making the movie look like it was filmed 80 years ago or something like that, you get some kind of orchestra in there. But no, I want to talk special effects real quick. Almost, I'd say, isn't all of it practical? I would think all of it was practical.
Other than
No.
tentacles.
I thought those were okay. Yeah, some tentacles were post,
Oh
but
yeah.
some of them weren't. That was really cool. And the mermaid. Oh wow, the mermaid.
Mermaid was cool. One of the things they did to make her more appealing in the movie is they filmed her with a warm hue over the lens, so her skin wasn't gray like Young and Old, and it was more pure and white.
That
Mm.
makes sense.
That shot where you first see her when Young's going into the water,
Ugh!
that is
What?
such a haunting shot. It reminds me why I hate open water is
Oh
because like
yeah.
I just there's nothing else in this freaking frame except this siren coming towards the camera, and it's just dark and shrouded in shadows.
Yeah.
And she's screeching. It's like so haunting.
Oh
Oh my
yeah.
god, I want that just like as a painting.
Yeah, that and the buildup when he's walking into the water through all those floating
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
logs
and the logs are just kind of like unnaturally moving, like
out of his
creating a
way.
space. Yeah, it's just like what is going
I
on?
know, it's like, is it some form of his subconscious that he's at, or is this actually happening and being created by his guilt? It's so do you want to talk ambiguous? Hello.
For sure. Yeah.
This movie gives you the fuel for damn sure.
Yeah, it's like I
I
can
wanna
see
watch it
how
again. Oh,
someone could like because I've read some people like it doesn't do enough for them, and I could definitely see why. Just
I
because
get that.
it does leave a lot of things up to your interpretation or like,
Yeah. Then
something you need to
then
read further
again,
on.
people say that most any indie movie they don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, but I'd say it more here than because you're dealing with like uh parallels like mythology and you
You're
know.
Mhm.
actually able to look up the mythos of a lot of the stuff in this and
Oh yeah,
see, like, explanations.
for sure.
Mhm. Yeah. That's good. That's good when a movie can give you it can show you something concrete, but it can give you enough details to form your own conclusions, good or bad.
Do
That
you guys have, like not like, of course, like, "I believe it's this," but do you have opinions on certain things in the movie where you're like, "I think for me, this is what this means."
uh him fucking a mermaid, his longing to be in love or just meet a woman. I'll say that I probably could have done without the masturbating scenes. If you could have
Plural, that's an S on the end of scene. There's
yeah.
many.
There's there's two major scenes, maybe a third.
Some with
Uh
old, that's not great.
no. I think it probably could have conveyed that better. Could have conveyed the longing for or sexual desire better, perhaps. But yeah, just, I don't want to see a guy whacking it.
Nick only
I
wants
mean,
to
that
see
sounds personal.
lesbians. Nick only wants to see lesbians making out.
Yeah, double standards. What do you
I
guys think? What do you guys think?
about what?
Masturbation. Do you want to see that on film or not?
I mean, it makes sense for the characters
It
and
does. Yes.
in context, everything. It's like, all right, I get it.
Yeah. I think what it does is he looks so in pain doing it. It's like, oh no, don't want to be in pain
That's why I like
doing
that
that.
one scene where
If he was
like,
smiling, I would have left.
he's having flashbacks to the guy that he accidentally or not accidentally killed, but murdered, and
Mm.
that was good. That made sense.
Oh wait, when he punches Wake and he just turns into that guy.
Oh yeah, there was that scene too. I don't know. I think there's so many different moments that have different connections. Like you have kind of that mythology element, but then you also have like more grounded themes, like the whole, you know, boss and employee dynamic, and you're
Yeah,
Yep.
trying your best to.
they're more
Uh,
like a father and son when you think about it.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the
there's
whole
definitely
movie is
that.
a struggling authority figure. Which one believes he's entitled to be the authority because he's the oldest, most experienced, and the other guy's at that point where he's lived through enough crap. He's still young, but he's at that age where he's like, I need to be the authority now. It's just this big conflicting
Yeah.
problem through the whole movie.
It's kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
workplaces in general. It's like
Yeah.
this guy he's the authority because he says he is, or he's been placed there to be the
Yes.
authority, and it's like that. I mean, and then like
Hmm.
just that struggle, and and I like to how he's not really allowed to go in the lighthouse, and it's like why
Yeah.
exactly, like why do you get to have the pleasure and the freedom to like lay around while I have to do all the hard work? It's a really cool
Yeah.
situation that they have set up there, and it
Yeah.
helps to have something grounded to latch onto and relate to, and not just have it
Mhm.
one big ambiguous mood piece. I really
Hmm.
appreciate that.
That is
Yeah.
really good. Yeah. Yeah. Why? Why do you get to have the warmth of the light? I get to freeze my ass off in the couch.
Yeah, why do you
Haven't-
get salvation and I'm the one who's like, yeah, I don't know. Very
Screw
cool.
you, Green Goblin.
Spider-Man.
Fuck you, Spider-Man, and the boat you rode in on.
So Ryan, since this was your favorite film of last year, does this
Yes, it was.
and this is your second time. This is all of our second time watching it. Uh, are you a bigger fan? Are you
Oh,
like
this just solidified it.
okay?
Like, I am at a point where when I think about it, I'm like, I might just put it on in the background. Like, I'm like writing, but I might just have it on just because I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like it a lot more, definitely. And I might retroactively make that one of my favorites of the year. Just cuz now I could comfortably like it and I have a pretty decent opinion about it. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's a fantastic film.
Yeah, extremely well made. Everything in it just like meshes together. Like if there was one thing I can't picture this movie without something that's in it.
Yeah.
What about you, Victor? First time you saw it, I remember you really liked it, but you were like, it's good, but not The Witch good.
What?
Uh, I don't think I
What?
said I don't think I said it wasn't The Witch good because
You
there
said you preferred The Witch.
I did. Did I? Oh, I think you're right. Well, see, I need to watch The Witch again because I've only seen it once.
Yeah, me too. But
Uh,
that's a shocker of a statement if I ever heard it.
but I mean, now watching a second time, it's not like I gained a lot more appreciation or I'm like in love with it a lot more. I still feel essentially the same, I think.
Hmm?
And I'm not talking about the witch statement because like I could have just said that and I don't know if I
That was your first thought outside the theater.
yeah, I think so.
Out the gates.
I
Out the gate.
still am not a huge fan of not okay, not a huge fan, but the last leg of the film, it just it doesn't do it for me completely. Like the whole uh kind of turns more into a thriller and it just gets a little bit repetitive for me. It just kind of
I
like
get that.
it kind of goes and stops and goes and stops at multiple points and
Like what point after he destroys the lifeboat?
uh it is around that section
Mm.
because I don't know, something about it, it just kind of really stops and
Totally get what you're saying, and I think I actually like that because I didn't know what you meant when you first told me that. I knew there was something that you're talking about, but I didn't know.
yeah,
I know what you're talking about now, and I get the point. I don't see it that way. I see it
yeah,
as I'm almost glad that it becomes less bizarre for most of the 3rd act and grounds itself in, like, thriller, because then for me, it's more tangible fear, like, you are stuck on an island with a guy that wants to kill you.
good point. Yeah,
That
no,
is
for
I
sure.
do
that is a
like
very
that,
good
but I
point.
totally get why that doesn't click because the rest of the movie is like, "We're setting this bizarre bar, and now we're gonna take it away." I totally get why that doesn't work.
No,
Yeah, I don't know.
I
It's just something about the pacing of that last act. It's a little weird for me, and but I think that's just maybe me with a lot of movies towards the last act. I'm like, all right, I don't know.
Victor hates endings.
I hate endings.
No, I like what you said there, Ryan. I think that kind of sums up my thoughts too, because I've seen movies that set up tangible threats, but pussy out in the end by doing like a very oh, what is it? Either metaphorical or intangible threat. Movies
Mhm.
like Hereditary or It Comes at Night, they set up like very believable either threats or antagonistic moods, and then they just kind of I don't know, they take it away in the most or they do the opposites and make it intangible and sort of for the mind to decipher. That's not
Yeah,
fair.
that's interesting though, because the Hereditary does it the exact opposite of this movie. It starts out
That's what I'm saying. Like
grounded and then flips. That is a good point.
that's what I'm saying. Like I like movies that start start bizarre, but then go grounded, not the other way around.
I
It
usually prefer the other way. That's why I'm shocked that I like this because I would rather it start out believable and then it just goes off the wall, balls to the wall, goes crazy bizarre. I love when they go too quote unquote too far. If they take it extreme, I'm
Mhm.
happy.
And I
Yeah.
don't think like at any point in the film it kind of goes too far. Like there are definitely like bizarre moments, but I think I'm just having a really hard time explaining how I feel about the last act because I'm trying to think about it and I can't really think confidently. Like I can't confidently express what emotion
Mm,
or like how I don't know. I have a hard time explaining how I feel about it that last part because it's not necessarily like
interesting.
the content or sorry not the content but like the bizarreness or the more grounded tone. It's just I think the pacing of it is just kind of
What does it feel? Slow, rushed?
how can I
Was it rushing or was it dragging?
I think it just if I remember right because hmm let's see because when he gets chased by the axe it kind of let's see they run back into the house and
They have a chat
they
afterwards.
have quite a long discussion and then I forget what happens after that. Does
Oh,
they go back to drinking if I remember right?
no, Winslow finds the logbook.
Yeah.
No, wait, no. That's after the cabin gets destroyed by the storm. Yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to
Then
remember what exactly
then Winslow
happens.
finds the logbook and scolds Wake over it, and then they dissolve from there.
Right. I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly. I have what my issue is, but it's just my least favorite part of the film.
Mhm.
Even if that
Mhm.
ending is like phenomenal, like I love the ending so much.
Dude,
Ugh.
the the ending mine is the build I love the ending. I love the build up to the ending possibly more where he's just screaming with the
Dude,
light.
it's such a good scene. Holy
His
Ugh.
cow!
face becomes clean looking at the light.
Yeah,
I
And
don't really
the
like the way
sound
they
design,
transitioned to him falling down the stairs though. That felt off.
it
that
didn't need to
that
happen.
was weird. And then the next shot is a great final shot, but
Ugh.
at the same time, he's suddenly naked. I guess the seagulls picked him clean of clothes.
Dude, that makes me feel like he was insane already and just running around the island butt naked. And the fact, weren't there logs in it or were there not?
No,
Lost what?
he was on rocks.
Oh yeah,
On rocks. Okay.
Yeah, he was at the base of the lighthouse, and his guts
I'm
are being
very
ripped out.
curious what happened to him.
yeah.
Craziness. Craziness is what happened. Oh,
Anything you guys? Wait, sorry. Go on, Nick.
well, I was gonna say Ryan and I like to talk like us as filmmakers, we want to make like iconic shots, memorable lines, and everything. This movie has tons of those. I just like the first two shot of Winslow and Wake just watching the boat leave from the island. It's like
Perfect.
Yeah.
perfect, perfect.
I also really like it felt very jarring, almost to the point of feeling out of place to me this time, but I still really respect the shot of Old shining the lighthouse light from his mouth naked into Young's face.
That was
Yeah.
strange. I saw that was based off a painting of some sort, but
Yeah.
still, what?
Definitely jarring, but it somehow
So
works.
cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Uh, and also, I didn't. Another thing Eggers does, natural lighting. I didn't mention it before. Some really good use of light in this movie.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
really
guess the lanterns were so bright that the actors could not see each other because it was so blinding in the little oil lanterns.
Yeah, 'cause I think they had to have quite a lot of light for that film stock, if I remember.
Yeah.
yeah. I also didn't catch on that the water supply was fucked. They couldn't drink the water on the island. That's why they drank so much alcohol,
Oh yeah, yeah.
poisoned water. Uh,
Ryan, is there anything you didn't like this time around, or not as like I don't know?
Um, there are definitely it's not just the third act for me. For me, I'd say throughout the course of the movie, there are bits where it lulls and drags its feet. I'm not sure. I can't think of a scene particularly, but there's definitely a handful of scenes that just drag their feet and are taking their time and nothing is happening that's like important. It's just like it's dragging its feet for the sake of being slower.
Would you say it has
Uh,
a similar problem that Portrait had, that what you described? Or do you
Yeah, this movie does a better job of avoiding walking scenes, which is writing 101 no.
they
But
walk.
this has scenes where it's just like, again, like indie syndrome, where it's like the character is standing, staring out a window, and rather than getting to the point of the essence of the scene, we're gonna hold on the shot rather than get to the point of why he's looking out the window.
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah, I think it just depends on uh I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, continue. Forget that.
That's really it. There's just bits where it lulls, slows way down,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I think it slows down too, but only for very short moments. I remember I
little
think it was
spurts.
it
Yeah.
spurts one because I think it was the intersection between Wake chasing Winslow with the axe and then the storm destroying the cabin. Like that bit that connects them. I think that was a lull there.
That's probably where I'm thinking as well.
Just a little one though. It's almost over before you know it. And
I think I
uh
liked that because I liked the chemistry between the characters. Like I was always, whenever it was like I loved watching them work on the lighthouse, but every time they were separated, I'm like, please put the characters back together. I want to see the chemistry again.
oh yeah, for sure. The
Like when they were singing, and he's like, "Dance, Winslow." I was just, dude,
yeah.
that whole scene.
Yeah.
Won't watch it again.
Let's watch it again, lad. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, if he's going to stick with this very uh, period accurate. I mean, I'm sure he will. I don't see why he wouldn't, but for his next film, I wonder how
It's gonna be
stylistic
interesting.
it's going to look.
The Norseman. I'm curious what it's gonna look like. I'm curious
Mhm.
what it's gonna sound like. I feel like it's gonna be. If I could guess anything about the movie, I think it's gonna be heavy vocal work in the music.
Mm,
I can
Very Viking. Is
I think we're gonna have to wait
accurate.
3 or so years before he does another movie.
I
Cause
mean,
what
he's already working on it.
he is? Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
Norseman.
The Norseman? Is that what it's called?
Northman.
Oh,
Northman.
Northman.
Sorry.
No, I mean,
Northman. But what's one? I wonder where that could entail. Huh.
Viking Revenge.
yeah,
Is
it's
that it?
described as a
What?
10th century Iceland. A prince sets out on a mission of revenge after his father is murdered,
Oh
inspired by
fuck.
the Scandinavian legend Amleth. Oh,
Okay,
so
I'm in already.
clear.
I'm
Yeah, all
so
right.
excited.
I'm excited right now. She's just hearing about it.
I I can say this, like I am so anxious for this movie because I'm like, I'm either going to love this or he's gonna do something different and I'm gonna be devastated.
It's
Why have you betrayed me, Bob?
huh, interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see him really screwing up. I don't know.
No, it's just he's so like I don't imagine it being screwing up as much as its stylistic choice. Like the lighthouse. I love the visuals of the lighthouse. If he does something extreme like that for the Northman,
Mhm.
and it's in a direction that I personally like, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've lined up with him on both of his movies so far.
Yeah,
So
because even if
Yeah.
it's closer to, like, The Witch, I think that's still gonna be fine. Because it's like
yeah.
I don't know, I mean, same cinematographer, so I
Well,
Oh,
I doubt it'd be close to the witch. It's a revenge story.
well, I'm just saying
in
in terms
terms
of the
of
aesthetic,
visual.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, and visuals, yeah. Sure.
So, I don't know.
Uh yeah, just right now thinking about it, yeah, this sounds like it'll be good. And as
I
we all
hope
know,
it's just super violent.
yeah, let's do it. Just Viking slaughter every possible weapon you could imagine from that time.
Oh, this is off topic, but in terms of like super violent movies, because like The Witch was not that violent. It had some like little bits of violence, but they weren't
Yeah.
that bad. They were kind of shocking.
Yeah.
But then the Lighthouse got a little bit more violent by having blood
Yes.
but it still wasn't that much.
Yeah.
Curious if he's gonna get more or less violent now. But dude, a director you don't expect to be super gory, Guillermo del Toro, all of his
Mm.
movies.
Oh yeah.
Anyone
Yeah.
else notice that? They're so gory.
Oh yeah. Because I think Pacific Rim was the first movie I ever watched, and even then, the Jaegers were severing kaiju limbs left and right. That was awesome. And then you can watch something like The Shape of Water. Freaking Michael
He
Shannon
likes
rips his
dude,
freaking gangrene fingers off or whatever, and
he
Uh-huh.
likes his face mutilation. He likes harming people in the face.
yeah, because I watched Pan's Labyrinth, a little bit of it some time ago, and the one guy gets his face pelted in with a bottle or something.
Gnarly. I
That-
screamed.
yeah, holy crap! And even Kronos had some wicked violence in there too. Yeah, uh, Spielberg can get violent too. Uh, even in his Saving Private Ryan, of course, was a revolution for
That
war
was
movie.
gnarly. That was
Yeah,
so brutal.
yeah, and even something like Jurassic Park. Not a lot
Indiana
of blood and
Jones.
gore. Not a lot of blood and gore, but sheesh, you could see the guy flailing in the T Rex's mouth. It's intense.
What about the
Yeah, it's
face
scary.
melting in Indiana?
Indiana
Classic.
Jones, yes, of course.
That, I guess, people were really pissed, and that's, like, one of the movies that, like, changed rating boards because 'cause they're like,
Yeah,
"Kids probably should not have seen that."
yeah. Temple of Doom and Gremlins, which Spielberg produced, they've definitely pushed the PG rating. So Spielberg himself suggested a rating in between, and that's how we got PG-13.
Yeah. But back to violence with Eggers. I don't really need it to be any more violent.
I
Just kind of,
want it. Give it to me. I
yeah.
want like Paul Verhoeven style violence.
I mean,
That
if
that would be
he falls
so
for it,
cool.
I don't know, because I don't think it follows a. It's not following like a Viking or anything. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of revenge
He's
tale.
gonna have to look up the mythos that you said it was based on.
What's it
So it
called?
says he's a Amleth. He's a direct predecessor of the character of Prince Hamlet.
Uh,
Mm,
well,
From
Hamlet must have
from
been violent.
yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Hmm.
see. So,
The
what would
Lighthouse.
you guys rate The Lighthouse?
Yeah. Final thoughts. Anything?
I don't know.
I think I
I
made my.
just think it's a masterpiece.
All right, I'll go with mine. My rating 4.5. Uh, the rating hasn't changed, but still, I click with it a lot more. Uh, Technically throwback, bizarrely constructed, uniquely visioned. It's definitely a wonder to behold. Uh, it's it's it definitely gives you a lot of food for thought, and it's just a very well made picture. I'm glad I like it a lot more now.
Rock and roll. Um, I think I am gonna stick with my 4.5 that I originally had because I don't think I uh, found much new that I liked. I think I feel the same, and I recognize what's great about it. Uh, just on a technical scale, like just everything, just so much praise I could give it, and yeah, there's really not much wrong with this film. It's just nitpicky things for me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I definitely am comfortable giving it 4.5. It's fantastic, and there's really nothing else like it. I
Yeah.
was watching with Stephanie, and she was just like, it was the scene like towards the end, she was just like, "What the hell's even going on anymore?" It's one of those films where there's just so much happening and so many different elements throughout that there's something for everyone. Really makes you feel like the Lighthouse.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I remember when I first got out of the theater, and all I could say was like, he definitely has a vision. That is his vision up there. Just, you're really visioning it up. And
Yeah,
that sounds so pathetic in hindsight.
I mean every director has a vision. If that's
I know. That's why I feel so shitty for saying that.
yeah, great film. Watch it. That's
Yeah.
all I have.
Wait,
I watched it
Ryan,
with a group
Uh
this
huh.
time,
oh
and
boy,
the seagull bludgeoning scene,
Oh yeah, I got a reaction too.
it
yeah.
was just screaming and yelling and laughing, and I was mainly the one laughing.
God,
But
I couldn't imagine watching a movie like this with a group. Cause
it was
it's
so much fun.
still, yeah, it's yeah. On the one hand, yeah, okay, we could go back on the genre tangent here, but I don't know this movie based around horrific atmosphere. Just, I don't know any kind of like if you so much as had a small side conversation, I feel it would kill it, just sort of kill the whole mood.
Oh,
So
I'm too sucked in to even hear any distractions. I'm glued when this is on.
I can do that too, but it's very not not totally rarely, but still my
Just love
condition.
it. I personally, like, for me, I would give this a 5 just because I'm like, I could actually put this on any day of the week and just have it on and
Uh
be
huh.
happy.
Uh-huh.
But that's in terms of like what I like about it. I would actually give it a 4.5 though,
Hmm.
because technical side is like masterpiece. It's as good as it gets in terms of we had a vision and actually nailed it. It's excellent the way they did it. But writing is definitely at fault for pulling it back from being a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
not in terms of dialogue. The dialogue is brilliant, but scene structure definitely needs some work and act pacing could use some work. Other than that,
act
I
pacing.
love it. It's beautiful.
Oh, I thought you meant like acting. No, like story acts.
No,
Okay.
act pacing, like the 3 act structure. There's some
Okay.
acts and segments in the acts that are way too long and some that are gone in a flash.
Yeah. So yeah. Uh, I had a thought. Oh yeah, you just say 5 stars. I think you just go with the five because you love it so much. Let that be
That's
the.
personal, but like I understand like it's personal it's a 5, but I would critique it myself like, yeah, the writing's not perfect, so that's
Mm,
not a 5
mm-hmm.
and a half for
Mm,
sure.
mm-hmm. Mm,
But
mm-hmm.
my heart say 5.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, you really love your uh-huhs, don't you?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, right on.
And
Oh,
that
hold on, that's not
that's
it.
wait.
You freaking
Pa-
nerd.
no. Pause. Cut this part out. Are we gonna do the questions at all? Did we get any luck on the questions?
I got one question.
I got one question too.
uh, and maybe I don't know.
We could
We,
do that real quick.
yeah, I don't know. Did
Just for
anyone else come up
uh-huh.
with their own questions?
Oh, I didn't know we were supposed to come up with questions.
Well, I'm just asking like if you guys like have a one on the spot that you want to like ask.
Sure, but maybe I'll say we'll answer the other questions before I start asking questions.
Right.
Okay. So back to the recording.
All
So
right.
we
Uh,
reached out to our audience and we got some. We wanted some questions asked. We would like.
Disappointed in you for 1. For 2, ask more next time.
Yeah,
Other than
yeah.
that,
Not much catching going on here, but
sorry, it's the
we're
first
gonna
time.
respond to the ones we got anyway. So I'll start with the
appreciate you
one.
guys.
I'll start with the one I got. So good old buddy old pal TK asks, how has COVID affected you? So like the show, I guess, is what he was getting at.
The show.
Uh well, we can't see each other for one thing. We're stuck in quarantine. We have to do these Discord calls to do the shows. And I
Yeah.
think there's a little bit lost there because I'm not there with you guys. It's a lot more energetic when I'm bouncing off the walls in the same space as you guys. So I think there's something lost there. But otherwise, we're doing it like normal. We're just chatting about the movies we
Yeah.
Is
watched
he
and
saying
love.
in general or what?
Yeah, I guess in general.
Oh, okay, okay.
General, I'm doing good, man.
Oh, personally, yeah, I'm doing fine. I mean, I think I cracked a little bit recently, but otherwise, yeah, it's okay. I'm fine.
I think the lack of well, it was more towards the beginning, like not being able to go to any shows or just like going out to eat or like going to like just
Yeah.
socializing with groups of people.
Yeah, making
It's
movies, kind of important.
yeah, but like honestly, besides like the fear of like my mom getting sick because she did get sick at one point, I was like, oh, F. Like, no. And my uncle almost dying, like, of it, and my aunt having it. Like, it's like the fears of my family getting it. But, like,
Yeah.
life's still the same. Like, I'm going to work, I'm hanging out with friends, and, like, it's yeah. It's just becoming more like, all right, it's one of those things, unfortunately, that is now just kind of in the background. It's not really. I don't know. It's just
Oh,
more.
like COVID's not the hot topic anymore.
Right. It's so, and, like, even so, like, it wasn't affecting me all too much, just lifestyle wise.
Same.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
could deal with it.
introverted, so no.
Hmm?
I'm introverted, so I'm doing quite all right.
Of course. Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
I can go a long stretch being introverted, but then I need to go back to my extrovert default, but I can't do that. So I think I actually cracked maybe a couple days ago here, and I was
A
just
little lighthouse of your own, huh?
oh yeah, yeah, just a little less mermaid and a lot less tentacles. But aside from that crack period, just yeah, otherwise I can do just fine. I
yeah,
can
it's
get
definitely
by most
it's
days.
definitely a period in time where you need to really check in on yourself,
Mhm.
because
Make sure you're there mentally.
Yeah.
it's
I
really
want
easy to really take in the fear that a lot of people are expressing, and being like, "Oh no, dude, I can't do anything." Like,
yeah. Especially with like a collective jump in anxiety across the country the last
you're
few years.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
go on a walk, go to the beach, just just take care of yourself.
Yeah. And if
Get
you do
outside.
see a loved one, just stay off the porch, sort of thing.
Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're doing just fine, COVID. Thank you for asking, I almost said TJ. TK.
TK.
T TKJ.
Thank you.
So we got one more question from a man named Nathan, and they
Nathan.
ask, "What is our favorite actor director teams?"
Oh, shit. Okay. You see here, I don't know. Spielberg and Tom Hanks is a winner. That's a pretty good one.
Uh huh.
But if I had to pick my favorite, oh, oh goodness,
Yeah, that's a tough one.
yeah,
I
it's tough.
really like Cronenberg and Viggo Mortensen. They work great together.
That's not bad.
Mm.
That's not bad. Um, I'm still thinking here, Victor. What do you got?
Dude, I don't know. I was thinking about this question for a while. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Um, mm.
I'm trying to think of a director that like regularly works with the same actors.
yeah,
yeah. Oh, Tarantino and Samuel L. Jackson. That's a winner.
it's a pretty yeah.
That's a
That's
good combo.
that's a pretty good combo. I was really into John Woo and Chow Yun Fat lately. Uh, so they did Hard Boiled, Bullet to the Head, or no, a Better Tomorrow, and The Killer. Like whenever they made an action movie together was really awesome. It's just like they complement each other's styles well.
Oh, here's an obvious one. Martin Scorsese and any of the gangster actors he's worked with 9 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Of
I haven't seen
course.
every film he's been in with him, but Max von Sydow with Bergman,
Yes.
Ooh.
he's been in a large handful of his films, like a lot.
Yes.
And every film he's in, and I'm sure for the ones I haven't seen, I'm gonna be like, "Yep,
Uh-huh.
I like his performance."
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
Yeah, I'm
Christopher
going with Cronenberg because I've only seen Cronenberg and Viggo Mortensen. I think the most I have 3 movies of them together, so
yeah. I'll send one more here. Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise. They did. The first Jack Reacher is a very well done action thriller, and those two also made probably my favorite of the Mission Impossible films. They did Fallout and Rogue Nation. Just
so
some
which one of those you picking?
as movies or duos.
What was the question?
All
Which
right,
one you picking?
fine. I think I'll just for classic. I think for classic's sake, I'll do Spielberg and Hanks.
There you
'Cause
go.
yeah.
Actually, I
I
changed mine. I'm going with Kyle MacLachlan and David Lynch.
figures.
Oh, nice.
Even though he's only
Figures.
been in, like a few of his things, it's like every time, just like hell
Mhm.
yeah, my
You probably
boys.
should. No, go ahead. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, you are.
Ah, kill me. No,
Uh,
I was gonna interject that Lynch probably would have directed Showgirls. Probably made it a lot more interesting.
I would have loved to see Lynch's Showgirls.
Please, it probably wouldn't be better, but damn.
Yeah, yeah. Do you guys have any other questions you want to just ask? I don't know.
Uh, what's your
Simple.
favorite part of the filming process?
I don't know.
Editing.
Of course it is. What's your favorite color?
Maybe red.
How about
Uh,
this? What I mean, I feel like. Hold on. I got one. Something simple. Let's see. Let's see. What do I got? What's one of your guys' favorite performances in general?
in any movie.
Any film? What's like maybe not.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Prisoners. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Me, it's got to be Dan Stevens in The Guest.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my god. Every time I watch that
Shit.
movie, I'm so hooked into him. I love his character. I love the suspense around his character and the way he plays the scene. It's so entertaining to watch.
What about you, Victor?
Um, dude, why are you asking? Why you shouldn't ask? I'm not
Well,
ready
you
yet.
asked it.
Hmm. That's a tough one. I just
Well, I
thought about
also
that
really
question.
like Daniel Day-Lewis in Phantom Thread. He's dope.
That's a good
Oh, I'm just looking at my letterbox list here. I completely glossed over Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's real good.
My
You know, I've
headphones got
been
launched
I've
off
had that
my
in a
head.
bag for like what is it? A month now, and I've been meaning to watch that again, but I just haven't been doing it.
Hollywood?
Yeah, it's just the runtime. I'm just like,
Oh, I could give a
ah.
fuck about the runtime. It's one of those movies. I love it so much. I can watch it for however long and still be fully satisfied.
Yeah, I always want to put it on. I just never do it. I'm always
Just
like, that
do it,
sounds good. I
dude.
should.
Just put it on. Once you see it, just go.
Let's go.
Just go.
I think for a while it was Gosling and Drive. Like that's a pretty
Oh
obvious
yeah.
like film school choice.
Oh yeah. Oh
But just
yeah.
um but God, besides that, I'm trying to think of like one recently that really just like I think
I w-
Sherilyn Finn and Twin Peaks who plays Laura.
oh.
Oh, sorry, not
Hmm.
Sherilyn Fenn, not Sherilyn Fenn. Freaking what's her name? What's her name? What's her name? Oh
Is
yeah,
it
Cheryl Lee. Cheryl Lee. Her
okay?
performance in Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me is just
I want to see that.
tragic, and it's so ah.
Yeah. Fire Walk with Me. Isn't that essentially the TV series condensed?
No, it's the prequel film.
It's a prequel.
Yeah, and it's tone wise much darker and scarier, and
I'm about it.
it's freaky.
Wow.
I've only seen it one time, but good lord. Um,
Man. Oh wow. I still gotta watch it all. I just need to commit. I just need to
it's worth
find
it.
one time to commit to that show because I really liked what I saw of it.
Well, that's a personal problem. Hope you figure it out.
I know it's a personal problem. You don't have to rub it in. You,
Well,
you
I don't know.
dingus.
Anything else you guys have left to say? I'm kind of done.
Yeah, I'm wearing myself out
Yeah.
at this point.
Cool.
This is a good chat. Good couple of films.
I don't know who's supposed to pick the next film. I don't know.
We got one request. We got a request to do one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just one. But I could probably find another one to complement it.
Oh yeah. What is it?
Well, my good friend requested we do the Terminator. the first Terminator movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I watched it
Many
last
times.
month.
Okay, fine. Well, we could talk about it anyways because it's a badass movie.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know who goes next. Let's see. Ryan, maybe Nick. I think Nick would be next.
I think it's me, man.
So cool.
So would that? Yeah, I'll talk with you later about that.
Rock and roll. Well, thanks for listening, everyone.
That's it. We'll see you next time. Did it end yet?